I know very little about Egyptian politics. I wrote letters to them yesterday and today, as did many hundreds of thousands of other people, requesting the Egyptian government to allow this march of these committed, decent people from all over the world who are trying to get to into Gaza, and they need permission from the Egyptian government because the only way in is through Egypt, because that's the only possible way in. None of these people are Palestinian, because Palestinians aren't allowed in or out of Gaza. They all have, you know, relatively neutral passports. They're either from North America or Canada or France or Germany or Italy or from Australia or New Zealand. 42 countries in all, yeah, represented in this relatively, well, I think there's about 1,500 people going to try and actually cross the border. So we implore the Egyptian government to allow this peaceful, non-violent protest at the siege of this country to proceed. I have a feeling they will. This again points to the power or the potential power of this demonstration. I think the Egyptian government may find that if they deny this due process of the rights of human beings to peacefully protest when they see a crime being committed, then they will find themselves on very dangerous shifting sands and put into a very difficult position themselves. So this again speaks to the fact that the organizing committee of the Freedom March on Gaza have already achieved, even before they start, they've achieved to some extent their aim, because this is becoming big news around the world, and it will become bigger and bigger news. And if, as we all hope, they actually make it across the border and they meet with Palestinians, and I think it's hard to imagine what an amazing surge of hope that could engender in the hearts of the Palestinian people who actually meet with them and get to talk to people from the outside and so on and so forth, and for them to understand that we have not forgotten them. We saw a year ago when the Israelis invaded and razed Gaza practically to the ground. Although I know what happened there as well as is possible because I pay attention, most of the media in the US and in the UK really played it down. Otherwise, if they hadn't played it down, it seems impossible that the uprising of shock and horror at what was done to the Palestinians in Gaza a year ago would have entirely demanded that the US government and the UK government take action and impose some kind of sanctions on the Israelis or something, or at least say something, deplore the action, or do something. What actually happened, of course, is that when the Goldstone report came out, they sort of went, oh, well, maybe this guy's a bit strange and we don't, you know, there is a huge and unfathomable tendency to want this problem to go away, and to this is too difficult for us to deal with, and it would mean us actually confronting our Israeli allies. Barack Obama, I'm certain of a number of things. One thing I'm absolutely sure of, and I so hope I'm right, I believe that Barack Obama's heart is in the right place. This isn't George Bush too. This guy thinks about things, he cares about people. I think he's finding that the job that he's trying to do, which is to almost wage war on the multinationals in the interests of the people, is a far harder task than he could ever have imagined. So I personally am prepared to believe that he is trying to do the right thing all the time, but he's having to tiptoe around to the extent that he actually appears to be just playing the game in the same way that politicians have done, since the Second World War and way before. However, I'm not party to his conferences and conversations with his inner circle, and with the problems that he has to deal with. So I'm not sure. The speech he made in Cairo, 6 months ago, was, or maybe it was more than that, was a breath of fresh air. And he was rounded on by, by the Jewish lobby in North America and by the Israeli government. But since then, it's all gone a little bit quiet. I should be very interested to hear what the President of the United States has to say about this non-violent, democratic demonstration of ordinary people from 42 countries all over the world marching into a very uncomfortable place because they feel solidarity with their brothers and sisters, other human beings who are living in conditions that none of us would stand for a single second in any of our countries. So I hope Barack Obama will respond to this, and I hope he makes a statement about it. And I hope he will come out and support this march, and I hope he will come out and say, listen, this siege of this country is illegal, and we must support the law. We must support the rights that human beings have under the law. And I keep coming back as well to the Freedom March on Gaza. If anybody who's on that march is seeing any of this footage, or if anybody in Palestine sees any of this footage, or if any of my friends there, or anybody who I don't know, but sitting here in the comfort of my home, all I can say to you is that I applaud your actions. I support you wholeheartedly. I feel very emotional in this moment of telling you of my intense feelings of solidarity with the Palestinian population of Gaza, but not only with them, but also with all the brave and committed people from 42 different countries all over the world who've taken the time out of their busy lives to go to Egypt, to talk to and plead with the Egyptian government, and eventually, hopefully, to cross that border in a symbolic act that not only will fly across, all the news media all over the world, because it's so important to all of us, but that might provide a spark for us to attend again to our attachment to the law, and to our responsibility that we have to each other, being as we are all brothers and sisters on this small planet with its diminishing resources, and you are a beacon to us all, and we thank you for it.